William Hill sponsors Whyte versus Parker on Sky Sports Box Office.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV. Hi, David. Can we just firstly get into who the referee and judges are for Fight Night?
Look, that's all in train at the moment. The referee, I think, has been named Ian John Lewis, and he's a referee that our side is happy with. We have no complaints. The judging candidates are still being worked through. Some names have been discussed that I think both Matchroom and Duco are both happy with, and perhaps even the British Boxing Board of Control. There seems to be an issue around the WBC judge, though, and so the parties are in discussions with the WBC to ensure that that judge is up to standard for an event of this magnitude.
How's it been working with Matchroom?
Excellent.
Yeah, as usual?
Yep.
In layman's terms, can you just explain that again, just because we weren't recording as well? Can you just explain that again regarding the referee? Because it was one thing that you raised at the initial press conference, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, the referee that's been named Ian John Lewis is a referee that our side is happy with. He's got a good track record. He is British, but he appears to be really competent. So our side have decided not to make a fuss about it.
Okay. And the judge, can you explain that as well?
Again, the parties all seem largely happy about the three judges, but there's an issue over one of them, the WBC judge. And so the parties involved are discussing with the WBC that issue to make sure the judge is, professional and experienced for this occasion.
How do you see this fight at the moment? Is it a 50-50 fight? Why should people tune into it?
I think, look, people are seeing it as a 50-50 fight. I think Joseph's the favourite. If he fights the way I know he can, I think he's got too much class for Dillian Whyte. That being said, Parker's been clear that he's going to look to come forward and knock Dillian Whyte out. And then you've got Dillian Whyte is going to swarm Joseph and look for the knockout. So it's going to be a very exciting event. Where the Joshua fight was like Parker was like a game of chess, this one's going to be an explosion.
So it's going to be really good telly.
Yeah, it'll be entertaining for sports fans who like their boxing. And
how soon do you reckon there'll be a knockout? Do you reckon it'll go full 12 rounds, or?
I reckon it'll finish by stoppage somewhere in the middle there, and I'm backing Joseph Parker to finish it by stoppage.
Great. And what do you make of Dillian Whyte's continued dirt talking?
Boxing, we expect it. He's actually quite witty. I like how he turned Joseph losing, didn't beat Joshua because he's a coward. He sort of turned that on its head. But some of it's been quite witty. Joseph just laughs it off, and he'll do his talking in the ring.
He brings you into it a lot, doesn't he, Dillian?
Yeah, he's just baiting. It'll be interesting at the press conference whether he directs his attention to me or should be directed at Joseph.
David, given that you're building such a following up here in the UK, how big is this fight for Joseph in terms of, I guess, ongoing, possibilities?
This will be his most important fight yet. It's more important than the Joshua fight because, even though he didn't beat Joshua, he's got a massive sold-out event at O2 Arena, worldwide TV, and if he wins this fight, he's straight back to number one, pole position for a rematch with Joshua. But if he doesn't win this fight, it's a long, hard road back after 2 losses in a row. So this is a critical fight for Joseph Parker. It's a turning point in his career.
Commercially as well, to reinforce that product that obviously you take to the market?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if he wins today, he'll earn a lot of respect and more respect from British boxing fans. Sorry, not Saturday. But if he were to lose, people start to lose faith. And then you have to really earn it back over many years. I mean, Vladimir Klitschko lost 3 times before his 10-year reign as world champion, but that's very rare that people are able to do that.
That said, such a big fight, it's had a pretty short lead-in. Was it just the way events panned out?
Look, yeah, we had some opportunities in the United States that didn't feel right, and so I got talking to Eddie Hearn. You don't want to go into a deal that doesn't feel right, and so I got talking to Eddie and we brainstormed and we managed to conjure this up at 7 weeks' notice. And so it was one of those pull a rabbit out of the hat deals which everyone worked for everyone. And so everyone's happy and it's going to be a great event.
David, last time out against Anthony Joshua, you were completely confident that Joseph would come out victorious. Is it the same going into this fight with Dillian?
Yeah, I think Joseph will win. I think if he fights, even the way he fought against Joshua, he should have too much class. Whyte can be sloppy, he'll look for the knockout, create openings. So unless Whyte gets lucky and lands a perfect punch, then I think Joseph should win the fight.
We're obviously in fight week now. Last time out we saw you and Eddie Hearn engage in a war of words. Can we expect that again this fight week?
I'm sure there'll be a bit of banter. We're actually fairly friendly,
yeah?
But there's definitely going to be some friendly banter.
Okay, good.
David, we've seen a little bit more of a tame David Higgins this time around. Is this take a bit of pressure off you, or do you enjoy it?
Well, for the Fury fight, I was genuinely outraged at the referee situation, and so that outrage showed. I've got nothing to be outraged about this time. So my job's done, the deal is done, it's a good deal, everyone's happy with. So it's really now about Joseph Parker and Dillian Whyte. I don't perform like a seal just to get headlines. I think there has to be a genuine reason if you're going to storm a press conference, or you don't want to contrive it too much.
Even just a few short months on, do you see a different Joseph Parker than even pre-Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, he looks in the best shape I've ever seen him. I commented when I got in on Sunday, his ab has turned into 6 abs.
David, looking back at the loss and how you moved forward from that, what part did you play in boosting the morale in the team?
Our team is really good morale. And so when Joseph took the loss, I looked him in the eye. The hunger was still there. I did not see a broken man. We did our best. We look back and analyse these things we could have done differently, perhaps like throwing the kitchen sink more at the end. We all acknowledge that. But Joseph was hungrier than ever to get back into camp as quick as possible, and he's in the best shape we've seen him. And so, the team sort of bonded the team closer in a way.
Is he hungrier now more than ever?
I would say so. He knows what's at stake. He knows that this is critical, and that if he does not win this fight, it's going to be a long, hard road back.
David, there's a lot of fans in the UK saying perhaps this shouldn't be pay-per-view. What's your sort of comment on that?
They always say that. It's funny because this will be possibly the most entertaining heavyweight fight in the world this year because of the styles and the matchups. They're both going to come forward. It's going to make the Parker-Joshua fight look boring. And the winner's going to end up number one of maybe 2 sanctioning bodies. And the winner's probably going to get a rematch against Joshua next year. So it's entertaining, it's credible, it's involving people right at the top of the rankings, and the winner's going to get a title shot. And the undercard's pretty damn good. So it should be pay-per-view, it is. And those people who are whinging will be the first to buy it.
How do you think Parker's dealing with the pressure?
Cool as a cucumber. I've never seen anyone as mentally tough and in control of their emotions. I mean, before the Joshua fight, he's going to walk in front of 80,000 people. He was just laughing and relaxed, lying back in the changing room. And so Joseph, and as you get older, you get a thicker skin. I don't think he feels the pressure or it affects him at all. I think he's focused on the job at hand.
Given what you said about the fight, David, are you a little bit nervous? But it's such a pivotal fight.
It's the same thing. For some reason, because I've been in a risky business now for 14 years, and you get a thicker skin. Like in my early 20s, I might have had sleepless nights. Now I'm very philosophical. I can't control what happens, and so I'll enjoy it. And what happens will happen, and you have to be philosophical about it.
Cool.
Great.
Okay, thanks for your time, David. English.
Cheers.
Thank you.
William Hill sponsors Whyte versus Parker on Sky Sports Box Office.